Good day, Evangelist Marcel.
Good day, my dear beloved friend,
Okay.
Emmanuel.
So there's been a discussion which has been causing so much back and forth. Is there a certain age or is there a certain time in a man or in a woman's life that this is a precise or exact time for you to get married, or is there any other thing attached to it?
Really, both scripturally, in other words, both spiritually and physically, there's no really a set out time when a man or a woman should actually get into marriage. It is actually a kind of an ideology that people set out by themselves that, okay, when it is a particular time like this, a man should be able to get married, or when it is a particular time like this, a woman should get married. And this thing is one of the reasons why sometimes you see guys, probably like men, at some point in their life, they begin to think, oh, my friends are all married, so I think I should also get married. The truth is that for the fact that your friends are married is not enough reasons for you to get married. There are a lot of reasons or a lot of things that a man should consider first before actually getting married. And this is one of the reasons why many marriages are a nightmare. Because for the fact that your friend got married, it's not enough reason for you to actually go into marriage. Okay, let me even paraphrase it a little bit. Okay, why not say, okay, for the fact that my friend died, I should also die? No, for the fact that my friend did a particular thing or a particular good thing or misfortune happened to him is not enough reason that I should also go to the same thing. So there's no set out time that when a man gets to this particular age, he should marry or should be in marriage. No. And there is no also set out time that when a lady gets to a particular age, she should also get married or must be married. No. And permit me to say this, Emmanuel. You see, this is one of the things that makes women, start shrinking at a point in their life. Sometimes you see some ladies even going to the point of probably going to native doctor to charm a man because they feel, or some of them who are Christians, you see them, start, getting into themselves, worked up somehow unnecessarily. Oh, my mates are married, I must be. The question is, are you really prepared for marriage? That should be the right question. It's not about all my mates are married or it is time for me to get married. It is, are you prepared for marriage? Because there are a lot of things, a lot of qualities, like the scripture says in the book of Proverbs chapter 31. It is there, the qualities of a good wife. So rather than killing myself about, oh, it is time for me to get, no, the question should be, am I really prepared mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially? Because even as a woman, you also need to have something doing. You don't just walk into a man's life with nothing to show. Like everything you have to offer to that man is probably sex and making of children. That is not enough. That will definitely crash the marriage or the love that both of you shared as time goes on. So you must have something you are bringing to the table. So the question is, what are you bringing to the table? Are you prepared? Are you matured emotionally to handle things? It is not like a situation like most of the time people say to me, Daddy, I love him. I want to marry him. I love him so much. He's my spec. Then they get wedded. 3 months after, they run back to me. Daddy, I don't want to marry him anymore. I want a divorce. I want out. And when you ask the young lady, what is the problem? She will tell you, he's a demon. I can't bear you, this and that. This is enough to tell you that this young lady was never prepared for that marriage. She was just seeing marriage. She wasn't really seeing the real thing. So, for one to be married, or for one to get into marriage as a young lady, you must be emotionally, mentally, financially, and physically matured for this. Then as a young man, I should say, because I'm a man, so I understand that being a man. Or what about you? You know, as a man, this thing is very, very simple. At 20, 22, 28, 30, 32, 40, 45, is there any speculated or stipulated time that a man should get married? No. The question is, when are you prepared? If you are prepared at 28, that's fine. If you are prepared at 30, that is fine. If you are prepared at 35, that is fine. If you are prepared at 40, that is fine. At 45, that is fine. But make sure you are prepared. Make sure you're prepared. And when we talk about preparing, it also goes on to also, what are you bringing into the marriage as a man? Because you must be the man. My mother once told me that the worst thing that can happen to a man is for your woman to be the one that is paying for your rent, feeding you. So she told me that the day a woman starts feeding his husband or feeding his man, clothing his man, you know, doing the duty of the husband, the man, that day, that man has suddenly becomes a wife, and the wife automatically becomes a husband. So, in as much as the woman is to bring something to the table, in as much as the woman should have something doing, the man also should have something doing. The man should be financially prepared. He should be emotionally prepared. He should be mentally and physically matured to handle things. Because, you know, in marriage, there are a lot of things that we play out in marriage. For example, like some negative things. I love you, I love you. The feelings will definitely dry up at a time. So, but the maturity is what goes on, and the deep love that you shared. Not this mouthwash love. No, the deep love, this love, you know, is seen more in marriage. Not the one we shared probably before marriage, but this particular one I'm talking about is, you see it really in marriage, it plays out there.
So what do you want to conclude on now? What advice will you further give as a conclusion?
All right, my advice as conclusion is this. I'll be giving this advice as a man of God. My advice is this, that before getting into marriage, either as a man or as a woman, you should first of all do your homework. What are those characters that you want to model as a husband? What are those characters you want to model as a father, like you desire to have as a husband or as a father? Then as a woman, what are those characters that you would desire to show in your marriage to your husband, like to your children? What are those things? Begin to model them now. You don't learn them when you get into marriage. No, this is the right time to start modeling those things. Then number 2, make sure you have something doing. You mustn't have all the whole money on earth, no, before going into marriage. But at least you need money. So you should be at least financially stable to a point before going into marriage. For the lady also, she should at least have something reasonable doing. It could be maybe a skill. It could be probably a trade. Whatever, it could be maybe as an employee. She goes to work and all that and comes back home at the end of the month with a paycheck. But there must be something you're doing, okay, so that you don't end up becoming a liability to your husband. And to the husband, you must also have something so that you don't also create a room where the marriage becomes a mess. This is what I think I should be given as a summary to this. That the both of them should be matured enough. They should be educated enough on things that concerns marriage, on what it takes to run their marriage. Because at the end of the day, the marriage after weddings and everything will be left for the both of them to live out. So nobody comes in. Once after the wedding, I love one thing about wedding. Once after the wedding, during the wedding, everybody is there, the crowds are there, but after the wedding, you see that when you go home, you are left with your wife. So this is just to tell you that, guy or young lady, you are welcome to this new world where it is just me and you. No other person, just you and I. So that's what I have for them.